Hey everybody, Brian from Steeda, reviewing the Hawk Talon drilled and slotted rotors for S550 Mustangs equipped with Performance Pack Brembo brakes. Hawk Performance has been supporting the racing industry for a number of years, and as you know, when it comes to racing, it also typically applies to the street. Not necessarily that you're going to use race components on the street, but there's a lot of things that are derived on the racetrack that get passed down to the street. And Hawk has a number of brake pads, and obviously see that we have rotors in front of us, and we highlighted already that we're talking about the Talon rotors, but just to give you a little bit of backstory on Hawk, as far as offering ferrocarbon high-performance brake pads, and they've been doing this for a number of years. So they are great at seeing what's happening in the industry, and as far as OEM rotors versus aftermarket rotors versus two-piece rotors, and honestly, simply seeing a niche spot in between those two-piece rotors and OE. So we look at the Hawk Talon rotors as being an OE plus upgrade for the factory pieces. One of the things that stands out right away is that they're cross-drilled and slotted. And this is important, especially as you're applying a lot of heat to the front brakes, whether it's canyon runs, autocross events, or track days. These rotors will dissipate heat better, and because they're slotted and drilled, what that ultimately means is that as the brake pads start to dust and release that dust, versus a solid rotor where that dust can get trapped between the rotor and the brake pad, and as it heats up, it starts to create a real smooth surface. That's called glazing your brakes. Well, the idea behind the cross-drilled and slotted effect is that it allows that dust to be removed from the rotor. It clears from the rotor, and this means cooler temperatures, less glazing, more consistent performance, whether again it's canyon runs, on the racetrack, depending on what type of brake pad you're running. They will dissipate heat better, as well as that dust, and prevent glazing, give you that more consistent performance. Hawk was very calculated with the placement of the cross drilling on the front rotors in particular, and they spread them out. And the idea here is so that if by chance you get some stress risers from each of the little openings in the rotor, they aren't going to be close enough. In addition, anytime you can keep more material between the cross drilling locations, well, cracking is less likely, and your consistency as far as heat within the rotor, well, remains more consistent. Building on our statement about strength and ability to handle high heat scenarios, Hawk casts these of high carbon steel, so you know that there's strength in the material as well. And as soon as you get these things, similar to so many of the Steeda parts that hopefully you've ordered as well, take a look at the fronts and backs of these, because you'll see immediately, as far as the detail that they put into the casting process, these things look phenomenal. Every edge is clean. From an enthusiast standpoint, as well as a practicality standpoint, the Hawk Talon rotors are really a great option. They're sold as a pair and are slightly more expensive than the factory rotors, but offer a lot more than the factory rotors. Again, nothing against the factory pieces, they've done you well this far, but obviously if you're watching this video, you're getting into situations where you're really pushing the car to its limits and the braking system to its limits. If you have a GT or an EcoBoost that you put the Brembo Performance Pack calipers on, this is a great way to go. Albeit they're not quite as light as a two-piece rotor setup, they also don't carry the price tag of a two-piece rotor setup. We're sure that you also noticed right away that these are coated. Hawk utilizes Magna coating to finish off their rotors. And the idea here is to keep them looking nice. And again, let's face it, we're all enthusiasts, we all want a performance car, but we also want to be able to look back at it and not see this outer edge of the rotor all rusted after a rainstorm. So they coat them to keep them looking nice through the duration of their life. Whether you're looking to replace the factory rotors on your street car like Rod's doing on his Q500, or getting ready to go to the racetrack, or a combination of the two, definitely check out the Hawk Talon drilled and slotted rotors. They do offer these for performance pack as well as non-performance pack options. We know a lot of you, as you're doing the performance pack brake upgrade to your EcoBoost or V6 or your GT base, this is a great option, a great way to go in conjunction with those Brembo calipers. We've also tested these at great length, and you'll see this in Chris's video where he and Jamie headed out to the firm and put these things through their paces in our EcoBoost. And don't be too judgmental of our Q350. This thing really hauls around the racetrack. And you'll see Jamie testing different brake pad compounds on these rotors. And the whole point here was to test different temperatures to see how the rotors held up. Really a cool video, so I'll leave it at that. Definitely check it out. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please click like and share it with other enthusiasts. Hit the subscribe button and ring that bell so you get notifications of upcoming videos as we release them. Visit Steeda.com to learn more about these and so many of the other parts that we offer for the Mustang and other Ford vehicles. And follow us on social media to see the latest and greatest things that we're doing with our Mustangs. Thank you so much for watching. Steeda, speed matters.